Another variation of the game that I want to present to you is what I call the Sellafield Asset Management game, Production Maximization through Collaboration. In this design of the game, I took cooperation within and between teams as a starting point for the game. The game board looks like this. Might look a little bit different than what you are aware of with the existing asset management game, but in fact a big part of the asset management game mechanics still apply. But a big difference is the fact that within 4 teams of 4 there are 4 roles. In the team we have a financial manager, we have an asset manager, we have a supply chain manager or production manager, whatever is the name that suits best to your existing practice, and the utilities manager. The financial manager, a bit like the other concept of the game, but here there is a meeting of fellow financial managers of all the teams to distribute the money among them. So based on preparations done in advance of this meeting, discussions with the asset manager, supply chain manager and utilities manager, the financial manager maybe can have a good argument to collect some more budget or to leave it to other teams. The asset manager approves the plan of utilities and operations. I will move to here because here I have a bit more details also about the roles. The asset manager also is in charge of the overall asset management plan and decides where the specialists, so in fact all the team members, land on the board at the beginning of the turn. The delivery manager is the same as the supply chain manager as mentioned before. He maintains all assets, but he also can renew all the storage and waste treatment assets, and also the operation unit. And the same goes for the utilities manager, but then for water and electricity. Let us move now to the game board in a little more detail, because otherwise it might be a bit confusing. Here we see one corner of the game board where we have the field with the pawns. So this is the starting situation, as you could say. 5 types of assets, of properties I must say. An electricity plant, a water supply unit, a supply unit and a waste treatment. Those properties also have the conditions as we know. But in this case the condition determines what is produced and how many of it. So electricity, if it's in an excellent condition, it brings a lot of electricity. In the good and in the acceptable condition, it brings electricity. In out of order condition, apparently not. Same goes for the water. Same goes for the supply unit. And the same goes for the waste unit. But with one big difference: the waste unit gets stuff from the production unit, where electricity, water and supply bring stuff to the production unit. The production unit turns the raw materials, supply, water and electricity, into deliverables and into waste. As said, there are several specialists, so let us assume that this bullet is the utility specialist. He is in fact in charge of the good condition of water and electricity. If it is collapsed, he can renew it. He is the only one who can renew collapsed water and electricity assets. The supply chain manager can do that for the supply and the waste treatment. All specialists, all people of the team can maintain assets in within these properties. The fields where they have to move are not the squares as on the existing asset management game, but are related to the places where they have to be to maintain or to renew. Movement cards, stated here. There are 4 movement cards, and the asset manager, he decides where the specialist starts. So it can be in this corner, but it also could be in this corner if it's better for the overall purpose, this corner, etc., etc. But he also decides who gets what movement cards. So one of the 4 can only make 3 steps, one of the 4 can 4, 5 and 6 steps. So in this game you have to be, all players have their own pawn instead of a team pawn, and they can move across the board. So they can be used for the own properties, but they also can be used to help other parties around the board. And this gives the opportunity to monitor the score of the overall teams and to compare this, for example, with other gameplays. So this also is about unsiloing and about cooperating to the max. The budget system in this concept also is like the other concept I presented, a fixed budget per year. Money that is not used is lost, and next year a new budget is applied, and maybe you could even relate the new budget to the money spent last time. Then you really have an incentive to be as spending as possible. So how does the gameplay go in this way? It's several rounds every turn. The financial meeting, financial managers discover what will be the budget for the next year and decide who gets what. If they don't agree, then it's just shared by 4, and then it's like that. But they can decide to distribute a bit different. Then there's a business plan or maintenance plan meeting, as you could say, where every team meets up separately to define the maintenance and renewal actions and the budget which is necessary for that. Then an asset management meeting where the asset managers of the 4 teams meet with each other to find out what money is still available after making the plans and which of them could make the best use of it. Then in round 4, then the real maintenance phase takes place. So everybody moves his pawn, making use of the movement cards he has, and does what he thinks is best, which doesn't necessarily have to be according to the plan, because sometimes, of course, other decisions have to be made. And then in round 5, the operations phase takes place. Then I move back to the game board. Per property, it is decided what production is made. And so, for example, let us assume that there are 3 assets on every property. 1 is in an excellent condition of electricity, and 3 are in an acceptable condition. then this delivers you 4 electricity, 1 excellent water, and 2 in a bad condition means only means no water supply, so no production by the operation unit, also no waste, but also no deliverable. And playing this game several rounds, you will see that in the middle of the board counters are collected, uptime counters are collected, so you can easily see which of the asset management strategies is the most productive of all. What's interesting in this is that there has to be a balance in the conditions of the assets. A very good electricity and a very bad water supply, or a waste storage which is totally filled up, means that production is not possible. So this is all kind of things that teams have to take in account, and while this is the case, when there is no balance, of course there can be worked upon that, but also maybe at a certain point some assistance to another team could be more productive. So really cooperative, and also interesting, I think, to turn into a conceptual game to try how this works, if you believe this could be indeed the right way to go. Very curious. See you tomorrow. Bye.